here with Ben Franklin. Who knew he would come back? Ben, tell me why you're here and what you think about this.
Well, I'm here because it's a great expression of liberty, and it's a great expression of the American people. And I've found that in this day and age, people really need to start thinking about what it means to compromise, and that moderation is not a bad thing.
So yeah, if you can see, the lines are coming out of the wazoo. Well, a lot of folks are here for the rally. It's funny, we weren't allowed to actually be within the fence of the rally. Apparently, they fear us. Independent media, yeah, right. Viacom has a fear of independent media, so we are at least 500 meters back away from the perimeter. A restraining order, as it were, between comedy and ourselves.
I mean, it's political satire, so it's obviously it has some entertainment value, but it's also just kind of a movement of the people and for the people, and I think that's really amazing.
It's almost 1 o'clock, and apparently Jon Stewart is about to take the stage at the rally. As you can tell, we don't really have very good access to anything. So somewhere behind me, there is a stage, and somewhere behind me is Jon Stewart.
We're looking for people that are not going to be wanting to go to the actual stage here and just talk with us right here about the fear. Here with the fear.
The rally started. The Roots have taken the stage. Jon Stewart's about to come out, so we're doing our part to try to get a full crowd out of the mall for Jon Stewart. So, hurry up in there! The rally's gonna start. Come on.
Ellie, are you here for the fear or sanity part? I'm assuming the fear. Yeah.
We're gonna try to go down into the 3rd Street tunnel, try to get close to Jon Stewart in the rally.
And tell us about your sign. What does your sign say here?
Well, this was something I came up with after the Patriot Act was passed, and it's I must be dyslexic, my right's left, and that's what they're doing is leaving.
And I'm out here because the college students don't have money, so they couldn't come, so I decided to come out here, rent a car, come out here. This is my last rally for my life, basically, because I was at Woodstock and all the other stuff. So. But I'm not getting beat up this time, which is really good, you know. But the cops aren't chasing us this time.
Because we the people, not the corporation.
Okay.
Woohoo! It's a democracy.
Oh, can I hold that one?
So explain. Here.
Can I take?
Sure.
Thank you. It's democracy, not an auction. And we've got keep your hands off our corporate overlords, if you like Stephen Colbert's line.
This is so good. Talk to me about the it's a democracy, not an auction. What is that?
Well, it's a government to the highest bidder. The corporations are sucking so much democracy out of the elections with their money, and they can do it now in complete privacy after the Citizens United decision. The Supreme Court really set us up this year, and as everybody knows, everyone has been hearing from the media and from the press reports, what we have is a government, the best government money can buy, which is usually the government is going to give business more power over the individual consumer, and that's not democracy.
I think the message is so important. I think the right wing just gets more dangerous every day and more insane.
Well, we're going to head down into the 3rd Street tunnel. It's under the mall. It's actually the only place on the mall from which Comedy Central has not prohibited our TV cameras. So real soon, we're only going to be 100 feet away from where Jon Stewart is addressing the rally crowd. Oh, there. Okay. Reporting from... Oh, are you doing about 50? Now reporting from about a half mile away from where Jon Stewart is addressing the rally crowd.
Politics is very funny. It's never been funnier.
Can we go through again, maybe more slowly?
Of course. I mean, you look at news, and a lot of young people, they get their news from Jon Stewart and the comedy that comes with it. And without the comedy, a lot of people wouldn't pay attention to it. So to make fun of people like this, it brings people attention to it, and it's just a good way. If you're laughing about something, you're learning too. It's good.
On whether or not they acknowledge it, because they are comedians on Comedy Central, but I think they have an audience that is listening to them.
Now we're about 2 miles away from where Jon Stewart is addressing the rally crowd. We're still looking for a left-hand turn, which, for those of you familiar with D.C., it can be awfully hard to find. I think we might have a left somewhere up in Maryland.
And because there's been a lot of fighting and a lot of, I think, nasty things going on, and also some appreciation for what the president inherited. He inherited a tremendous burden a tremendous amount of problems, a lot of problems, and I think he's doing his best, and I think that people need to appreciate that.
Wise grandma here reminding you, change takes time.
This rally, after Beck's rally, I thought, where are the normal people like myself? And I'm going to get my neighborhood in action. And then all of a sudden this came to pass, so I got on an airplane and came.
Flew across the country.
Flew across the country.
So that's how excited you are.
Definitely.
Actually,
And
this is a representation of America, because when I was on the metro system, I was talking to people from Alaska. Alaska. Okay, so we're going far out here. This reached out. Then I ran across somebody from Belgium. It's like people are actually spending money so that we could restore sanity. Right. Actually, in the world, it's not just here in this country. Everybody needs a little bit of sanity now. Everybody needs to get off that bus that the bozos are on. Stop being crazy radical. Take some LSD, and we'll all be all right.
Okay, now we are only about 100 feet away from where Jon Stewart is addressing the rally crowd. There's still really not very much to see, though.
We're old enough to remember when the two sides got along. And that's
when was that there?
Oh, come on. They lived in Washington, and they went out to dinner together. They had family, they had parties together, and they worked things out behind the scenes. To see that health care vote made me just so mad. They were like kids. I'm not going to vote, Gee.
Because it's about time that people hear what the real folks and not what media is saying, and not what Fox Radio and not what MSNBC is saying, but what all of us are saying. I think the media slants everybody's viewpoint. So we're here to say that we're America, not the teabaggers.
We're standing, you can see how far away we're standing. This could be as close as we get to the stage, and let me just give me a second here. No, I can't really see anything.
The Backbone campaign was generous enough to allow Coffee Party to present the preamble here at the Rally to Restore Sanity, with the message being that sane people own the Constitution as well. We can't allow our founding documents or books like the Bible or the Quran to be appropriated by extremists and then basically push the rest of us out of conversations that are founded in those documents or those books.
So the Coffee Party's either, so you guys are sanity side, fear side, both? What is it?
Yeah, we're with the sanity group. I haven't seen many for the fear. I think they sort of did that just to be quote unquote bipartisan, but
You would say that you support fear. You support Colbert?
Actually, I don't really ever watch either of them at any time. I watch Glenn Beck. I was the founder of the Washington, D.C. Tea Party in 2009.
So what do you think about what John and Stephen are doing with this event? Are you completely against it, or what?
I'm not against it. I'm trying to get into the spirit of it with Lucy here. And I am a big believer in the First Amendment right to freedom of speech. And if they want to do this, go for it. Most of the people here are laughing and waving and seem to like this.
What fears do you suggest that I take on and take home?
I think that a really good one for this group would be fear of responsibility. There's fear of ideas. There's fear of the truth. There's fear of government, but that's actually kind of sensible these days. So there's so many that you could choose from. Fear of failure.
Is there a word for fear of truth?
Let me see. I'm pretty sure that there is.
And am I gonna owe you 5 cents after this? Because I don't. Do you have change for a 20?
I don't have change for a 20. I've made 10 cents so far, though.
Okay.
Well, how about eleutherophobia, fear of freedom?
All right, I'm gonna take that one.
Because with freedom comes responsibility.
Eleutherophobia. Got it right there.
Eleutherophobia.
I don't. Can you spell that?
No. If I want to learn how to spell, I want to have a spell check.
I'm with you. Thank you.
Well, we got turned down by everybody at Comedy Central in terms of getting into the show with our camera, but we were wandering behind the back of the porta potties, and we noticed one of the fences had been mysteriously opened. So we walked in the fence, and here we are. It'll probably be not too long before we get kicked out, but for now, we're in the show.
I'm from outside of Portland, Oregon, and are big fans of what Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert do. I think they tell the truth more than some of the news media out there. Even though they're doing it under the guise of comedy, I think they have a lot of, as they always say, it's funny because it's true, and that's a big part of what those guys do.
We're very frustrated with what's going on in Washington.
We mainly wanted to just kind of come and stand up and be
I want
counted.
to show that there's a lot of us that are frustrated, that we're not all crazy teabaggers. We're actually people who are concerned about democracy, so that's why I'm here.
It's time to try to quiet things down and not talk over each other and not shout and poke people in the chest.
They have to somehow, learn how we have to work. We're all humans, work together.
I'm peopleist.
Peopleist is nice.
That one world thing.
One world, one life.
We are totally consumed by fears of erroneous things that won't happen or aren't the case. And it's very polarized, and yet serious issues in the world, and there are very serious issues in the world, are largely being neglected, especially in the national conversation. And so my hope is that, and maybe this rally can be part of this movement, that we can start take a step back, really look at what's happening in the world and not just within our own borders, and try to make some real change for good.
We're trying to get the message out to people that we haven't finished health reform yet, that we haven't fixed the fundamental problems that we have, and that there's still a strong movement pushing for a national single-payer, improved Medicare for all.
I'm here at the refreshment stand with an Albanian here. We're talking about the Jon Stewart rally.
I'm actually Polak. Sorry.
Albany, right?
Albany, but I'm a Polak.
Isn't it almost Albanians or?
No, it's New Yorkers.
New Yorkers.
I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, and I am here because Rand Paul scares the crap out of me, and he needs to know that giving misinformation out is an unacceptable way to get elected.
And our education needs to be provided, especially if you want kids to excel in math and sciences. We need to keep the union strong and the teachers happy and money flowing into the school district. That's the only way it's going to survive.
So you're here for the fear, obviously.
Yeah, I'm afraid. I'm afraid kids are going to be dumb.
Important that Jon Stewart brings sanity to Washington, D.C. and the United States.
Because they've gone mad and they've lost language and they've lost their minds, and logic has been missing for quite some time. So those of us who appreciate language and logic and solutions have been lonely.
I'm with Michelle, who's down from Boston, Massachusetts, and she had a problem with today's rally. Michelle, what were you hoping for?
I was hoping there would be cherry blossoms, but they're not here. Hello. And I'm kind of sad.
One of our messages is make love, not war. And we just stand up here and make out that this is real security, the bosom of the mothers. Our other messages are we have the Bill of Rights that we're handing out to people. So
I, by the way, appreciate real security if it is the
you need a hug?
Kind of lucky break here. We found someone with a really good seat at the rally, so let's check in with Robin and see what she can tell us. So Robin, you got a good seat up there. What can you see up there?
I see a sea of people, and everybody is happy and peaceful and just really digging the day and enjoying their time here.
You're on a deserted island. It's you, it's Jon Stewart, it's Stephen Colbert. Who gets voted off the island first?
Probably me.
I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope you can swim. Okay.
I'm a good swimmer.
Who gets voted off the island first?
Me, because I want them to run for president.
Can you swim?
Not well enough.
I'd love to stay on the island, but if anybody needs to survive, those guys do. They're telling the truth.
Or do you think Jon Stewart should run, or in your case, Stephen Colbert, should he run for president?
Absolutely not.
What about, do you think Jon Stewart should run for president?
I don't know if anyone should run for president.
Just never have a president again?
I mean, what I would say is I think that to be president, you would have to, it takes a certain amount of absurdity, to imagine that you're leader of the free world, so.
Yeah, and I'd say in the words of Socrates, no philosopher, no rational man would ever want to be king.
All right, we found some people that can help us in this crowd. They might be the only people here with a good enough vantage point. Okay, hey, whoa, up there. You got it. Can you see anything from up there?
Everything! It's fantastic! You can see Jon Stewart! You can see the ocean! Hey, John! You can see Alaska! It's awesome!
You can see Russia. No, look. All right, what did you pay for those seats?
$0.
Apparently, not all DC is going to the rally. Some are actually watching the juggler.
Okay, this is our first good look at the rally. From what it looks like here, we think maybe they could have used maybe 10 more porta potties. The rally's been going on for about an hour and a half, and they're deep into the speeches. So you can already kind of tell a lot of the people are getting turned off. You can see movement going this way, and you can see movement going that way. I think people are just confused about how to find the exit right now out here. The rally started off well with some really kicking music, but now it's become a political rally, and the expectation was that this crowd would not be very much in favor of that. Before you knew it, it was already time for Jon Stewart to give his closing speech. I have no idea if the crowd liked it. By that point, my crew and I were in the Air and Space Museum at the McDonald's. I know Jon Stewart is trying to restore sanity to America, but doesn't he realize that McDonald's has already restored the McRib?
At the end of the rally, right by the Golden Dragon, they're romping and stomping.
What are you guys here for?
We're here as this is an epic moment for our generation, and we want to be a part of it.
The rally?
Yeah.
I think I want to be sort of afraid of sanity and sane with my fear. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of Monday. I'm afraid of Tuesday. I'm afraid of the elections. I'm afraid to see what's going to happen. When big business owns my vote, I'm really afraid.
Think about it.
It was jam-packed, man. I think they did what their goal was to do. I think they got more people out at this rally than Glenn Beck did at his rally. Mm-hmm. And then they had the Roots there, mm-hmm. John Legend there. It was nuts. Mm-hmm. It was nuts. So, but it was productive because it showed that more people care about this than the other thing. It seemed. Mm-hmm. That's what it seemed like.
So when you say this, what do you mean this?
Moderacy, like tolerance, maybe. Conversation as opposed to arguments. So I think that was the goal. Even with the signs, people walking around with signs like, I don't like the protest, but I have a sign.
Here, I want you to know that there's nobody here that looks like they just left a monster truck rally, and that's refreshing.
I think it brought humor to a time in the country when things have gotten totally out of hand, and while there was humor with it, their serious message came across that we can all disagree, but we can agree, but we need to do it reasonably and not have all this hate out there in the country that's driving a lot of issues now.
We're here for sanity, please. Restore it, because our country needs more of these people coming out and saying we're okay. This country is not going crazy.
We need a common ground for debate and discussion, and it's unfortunate that people are so frustrated with government, because any civilized society needs a good functioning government that we're all participating in.
We need to really bring back sanity and bring back a sense of pride in our government, citizenship, a sense of duty and loyalty to our values. And
all right, what do you hope will happen after this?
I'm hoping for waffles after this.
Great signs, comedy. People walking around. Halloween, man. This is like a perfect storm weekend for moderate absurdity. It's great.
Wow, that's some pretty deep stuff. Let's see what the red guy has to say. Oh, yep.
Gay married Muslim couple.
Okay, and that is something I suppose for people to be fearful of, but were you successful? Did you spread the fear?
But mostly we were disappointed. People actually accepted us. It was kind of sad.
But overall, I think this is a tremendous event. I think a lot of people came out and showed their patriotism.
When Comedy Central denied us any press credentials, it meant that we were not going to get our sit-down with Stewart and Colbert. But looking back on the people we did get to talk with, I think we got the better end of the deal.